Okay, hi guys. This is QH Freddy, and I'm gonna go over the first blood that SK gave to Alliance in the 20-minute surrender of Week 7 Day 2 game, first game of the day. So first we can go through the gank itself and how it played out, and then we'll go into a more detailed analysis of what exactly happened.
By a bubble, he could get taken down, but as long as he dodges the bubble, Candy Panda should be alright.
Oh, got in the Aqua Prison. That's going to be Candy Panda going now. He's going to try and get away from him. Flash comes in. Shook follows it through.
So, looks like a pretty normal gank from the surface, with Nif starting it out with a nice bubble onto Candy Panda. But I think there were several mistakes that SK Gaming made that allowed such an easy gank for Alliance. So I think the first thing I'd like to go over would be this. Now here might not be that clear, but what's this? SK Gaming. Oops. So SK Gaming pings on Eve. This ping goes down because they have warded the race of Alliance, so they know that Eve is bot side. Now, there's actually a lot of information that you can get from simply that, from simply knowing Eve is here. I'd assume that SK will have known that Eve started red because the Alliance bot lane came to lane slightly late because they were leashing and helping Shook start his red buff. So what they can know about that immediately is that Eve probably cleared straight up to blue, but now she's clearing back down towards the bot side. Now, if we look at Eve's health here, not that high, but she still has a potion, so she might actually come down and gank bot. Now, what else can we know? What else can we see that that SK should have taken into account to think that Eve was ganking bot? Well, if we go back here,
Trading quite
so
Only a red card from
Svenskeren comes top, right? He comes through this ward. Now notice that Wicked here is playing extremely passively. He backs off from what I think he actually lost. He actually might have lost. No, he didn't. He wouldn't have lost the minion of XP there, but he backs off the minion wave immediately. So they know that this bush is warded. They actually even ping it. So here they ping that this bush is warded. So they know that Alliance knows that Lee Sin is top. So what does that mean? Well, judging by how passively Wicked is playing, I mean, he backs straight off the minion wave as soon as he sees Svenskeren. He goes straight out into the Fog of War. Now, what they should know from that is that Eve, on top of the fact that she was just at Wraith, Eve is probably nowhere close to help Wicked, because if Wicked still stayed slightly more aggressive here, you know, slightly more aggressive lane stance, they would have known that Eve is somewhere near here. So then that would have been a message to the bot lane. Well, we know that Eve is somewhere top, and we're safe from a gank. But no, Wicked backs off. They know that this is warded, and they know that Eve is not up here to help Wicked. So they should know that Shook is going to be coming down bot, which is what happens next. So Shook comes down bot, here. And now the next mistake here, which I also have a little screenshot of. Now, the next mistake by SK happens here, where notice here that Nif is playing very aggressively. He's standing way ahead of his AD carry, and I think he just used his auto attack buff on himself, indicating that he wants to come in and auto attack Candy Panda. But Candy Panda is nowhere near the range of Nif. Yet Nif is still stepping out of the bush, and they have of course no vision of N-rated here, so he can't hit Nif from there. So what else does this tell us? Well, Shook's nearby, we know that, but the fact that Nif is playing so aggressive tells us should tell SK that Shook is nearby for the gank. Now, then the last mistake, the last nail in the coffin, if you will, happens. Right, wait for it. Here, N-rated comes in to face check this bush. Now, why is he going to face check this bush? I think that N-rated knew that Eve is bot side. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that he knows that Eve is bot side. But there's a critical mistake these two are making here. Candy Panda is not staying near N-rated, so N-rated is out of range for the black shield to prevent any CC from landing on Candy Panda. So now they of course know that Nif is in this bush, and Nif quite probably, judging by how aggressively he's been playing in the last when the lane was still here, they know that Nif might try to land a bubble because they have no ward in here and they can't see what Nif's trying to do. So they should be expecting that Nif is trying to land a bubble onto Candy Panda. And of course, on top of that, if Nif does land a bubble onto Candy Panda, even if Eve does not gank, all N-rated is going to be able to do is he's just going to put a dark binding onto Nif, and maybe put the tormented soil to put some damage down onto Nif. But in all that time, Tabs is going to be able to trade onto Candy Panda, getting the buffs from Nif, the auto attack buffs, getting the movement speed buffs, and of course getting his own buffs on his auto attack. So he's definitely going to out damage Candy Panda in the trade at this point, even with this minion advantage that Candy Panda has. So what happens here? N-rated is out of range for the black shield on the bubble. We can see that Candy Panda already tries to walk back, but the bubble is very well placed by Nif, so it lands onto Candy Panda. Candy Panda doesn't flash out of it. N-rated can't put a shield on him, and end of story. That's Candy Panda's dead. As soon as that bubble hit, Candy Panda was dead. There was nothing they could possibly do to save Candy Panda. And then of course he already used his heal, and then he flashes out, forcing the flash from Shook, but flash and heal from Candy Panda, and later also I think the flash from N-rated is simply not worth it. I think it would have been much better for Candy Panda as soon as the bubble hit to say that, okay, I'm dead, nothing I can do about it, because then he already saw that Shook was coming, and then he would have still had both of his summoner spells when he came back to lane, but he didn't, and he died for it. And I think that was of course quite a big factor into letting Tab snowball. So that's it for now. This is the first video I've done, and I think I'll follow up with a few more later on this game, and probably a few other games if I find some good plays to analyze and break down. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you like and maybe sub for some future videos.